Good morning, everyone, and welcome to SMI 2021. And thank you for coming to the opening remarks today. So yesterday we have our education program and founders talk and software session and our social mixer with the posters. And we are starting today our scientific program with the invited sessions and case study sessions and our keynote speakers. And to start, we have three speakers today in opening remarks. We have Dr. Chipran Kreni-Chunu, representing the ASA Imaging Section Leadership, and Dr. Rob Crafty, who is the chair of the co-hosting department here at Emory, and I will be speaking representing the local committee in the end. So Chipran. Okay.
Thank you, Ing, and thank you for organizing this event. Thank you, Rob, for helping Ing and for making this a wonderful event. Thank you, Ting, for your leadership, and thank you, the organizing committee of the Department of Biostatistics at Emory University, which did a wonderful job for putting this together. As I was saying earlier, I've heard a lot of good things about it. Let's keep it going. Let's make this the wonderful event that we wanted to have. Then I wanted to thank all of you who are part of the statistics in imaging community. And thank you for your passion. We have a wonderful craft. We are working on probably one of the most exciting things in statistics. You know, the visualization that we get to make, the amazing data, extraordinary people. We just are lucky to be working on what we're working and to see other people doing amazing things around us. Last, we have a wonderful program that you helped put together. So this is your program. Enjoy it. I just wanted to say a few things. The pandemic and many other events over the past year have been very difficult for absolutely all of us. For our loved ones, and for our friends. This is a good time to remember the loss of so many friends and of so many friends that we will never have the chance to make. We acknowledge the unspeakable loss, and I urge you to think about the many wonderful reasons that we still have to be thankful for. One thing that we could do more, we could try to focus more on the diversity, on participation, and creating a more inclusive and a good, wonderful research and collegial atmosphere in our section and in statistics in general. I know that a lot of us are passionate about what we do. I would like us to try even more to make this a wonderful, welcoming place for everybody. And also to think carefully about mutual respect and support for junior investigators. So these are major components that I think we all agree and we can easily get behind. I would also like to say that as a imaging in statistics or statistics in imaging community, we should continue to strive to increase our contribution to research and society. We are now becoming a section that is becoming more mature, is becoming more coming of the initial stages, and we should think carefully about where do we want to go from here. I think that Neuroconductor is a good platform, but there are other platforms where we can continue to add our products, the final products. At the end of the day, after we go through all of the discussions and all of the methods and everything, we have products, and those products will impact others. Finally, I would like to urge all of you to make the section what you want it to be. You can be an active You can participate, you can contact and become part of the leadership. We strive to be as open as possible and to promote you and try to make sure that all the voices are heard. We are imperfect, but we try to make it better. And thank you all, and looking forward to all the wonderful talks over the next 2 days.
Thank you, Chipran. And then I think we all know that Chipran is a professor of biostatistics at Johns Hopkins University. And I'd like to mention he leads the development of a neuroconductor, which is a major open source platform for disseminating statistical software for imaging analysis. And that was demonstrated in yesterday's software session. So I just want to make a comment. Chipran is the leader in the development of that. And also Chipran is an expert in brain imaging and wearable and implantable technology devices. And he leads the working group in wearable and implantable technology in that area. And he's an ASA fellow and a winner of many awards. So thank you, Chipran, for giving the opening remark. And so next we have Dr. Robert Crafty, and Robert joined Emory last summer, and he's a Rollins professor now and chair of our Department of Biostatistics and Bioinformatics at Emory Rollins School of Public Health. Robert was previously on faculty at University of Pittsburgh and Temple University, and his research focus is time series signal and functional data. Robert, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Shane. If you don't mind, I would like just to share my screen. Am I actually sharing my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Often I don't quite know if I'm actually doing that yet. So I just wanted to thanks everyone for joining. So day one was a tremendous success. I very much enjoyed it. I hope you all did as well. I just wanted to give a little introduction and welcome to Atlanta and Emory, since we can't all be here in person. So Atlanta, Georgia, for those of you that haven't been fortunate enough to come here yet, it's the 9th largest metro area in the US. We're located down in the southwest part of the US in the state of Georgia. So Atlanta and Emory University are situated on the traditional homelands of the Muskogee Creek Nation. It's often described as a city in a forest, and that although it's a large metropolitan area, there's a ton of green space. So if you can kind of see, the top picture is a picture from one of the buildings of the Graduate School of Public Health overlooking a park, and you can see about 4 or 5 miles in the distance is Midtown and downtown. If you kind of concentrate enough, you can actually see my little apartment in a corner over there. So the university is located in a neighborhood known as Druid Hills. So Emory has about over 800 million in federal funding, and we have 9 schools, including the Woodruff Health Science Center. And right next door is the CDC, literally just across a little street. So the school itself, given kind of schools of public health, the Rollins School of Public Health is on the new end. So the school was founded in 1990. It was named in 1894 from a generous donation from the O. Wayne Rollins Foundation. Currently, we comprise 2 buildings, the Grace Combe Rollins building, where Biostatistics is, and the Claudia Nance Rollins building. And as we speak, and you might be able to hear the jackhammers in the distance, soon we will have a 3rd building, the Ola Randall Rollins building. So the school is a decent size. We have about 200 primary faculty and over 300 secondary and adjunct faculty. So the Department of Biostatistics, we have currently 35 faculty, and this includes 3 superstar new hires who are coming in this year. We have in the ballpark of 50 PhD students, about 110 master's students at any point in time. We have a very diverse type of research that's going on in the department, both methodologically and collaboratively and scientifically. But one of the big highlights of our department is that we're home to the Center for Imaging Statistics. So this is led by Dr. Ying Guo and also by Super T. Kundu and Ben Risk, and a slew of outstanding students and postdocs. and they've kind of created a very invigorating environment here at Emory, and I'm very happy that they have helped bring this conference here. So I think we all wish that we could actually be here in person, but I'm very happy with how well this conference is doing. And actually, in a way, I'm kind of happy that we had at least one remote conference for this section to kind of, so that we'll always be able to remember this time that we're living in. Although hopefully for those of you who have yet to come to visit Atlanta or Emory, please let me know and we'll find a way to get you here to enjoy the city and the university. But in the meantime, please enjoy this great conference.
Thank you, Rob. That's wonderful. Okay, so, So I'm sharing my slides now. Can you guys see my slides? Okay, thank you. So thank you, Chipran and Rob, for the great opening remarks. And so I'm just gonna give some remarks on representing our local organizing committee. So as we all know, SMI conference is the flagship conference of ASA imaging section. So I think that our department and CBIS, we have the very privileged to have the opportunity to help co-host the SMI conference. As Rob mentioned, we kind of like feel like we organized two conferences. Last year was the in-person version of it, and then this year the online version, virtual version. And we just feel like this is a great conference for community building and for people to get to know each other who works in imaging. So here are some highlights of SMI 2021 conference. So we had a founders talk and keynote lectures from 3 distinguished and world-renowned imaging researchers. And yesterday we had an educational program, a short course given by a very experienced instructor, Dr. Hui Ling, who is a data scientist and does a lot of practice of data science and deep learning. And we had an exciting scientific program with 16 invited sessions and case study sessions. And this is, this shows the contributions from the whole community. They answered our calls to proposals to the SMI conference. And we are looking forward to see the excellent work that's going to be presented in the next 2 days. We also launched a new session of a software session to promote the development of a statistical software imaging analysis. I think that is very important, thing for us to put more effort on. And in yesterday's poster session, I hope you had a chance to go to the Gallatin and enjoy the posters, and they will be there throughout the conference. So you can still go there and looking at those posters. So we held a Gallatin event yesterday and tried to continue the culture of SMI conference for people to really get to know each other at the conference, have a chance to talk with each other, get to know the community. Okay, so. And I'd like to acknowledge the sponsors, of course, our national level sponsors, as well as our local sponsors through the conference planning. And the planning committee mainly consisted of the ASA imaging section officers in the 2020 and 2021 terms. And I'd like to especially acknowledge Orlando, who was the chair when I submitted a proposal for Emory to co-host the conference. Orlando has been very supportive. And we worked as a NUCH as a chair in last year. And this year for the virtual conference, we really thank the leadership, Ting Zhang, and also Chipram, that we worked with for this virtual conference. Okay, and also thank you all the officers in the SMI. Some of them have hosted SMI before, so I offered some really helpful tips. Okay, and our local organizing committee, in addition to me, we'd like to acknowledge our 2 department chairs during the 2-year planning session for their continued support of this conference. And I'd like to acknowledge my fellow CBIS core faculty, Supertik, who hosted and organized the poster session, and Ben, who hosted the SMI student paper competition, which was held last year. And they have put together some great events, and I think both events are very successful because of their organization. And special acknowledgement, I'd like to thank Dana and John, who offered some tips in our planning when we started planning the SMI conference, and Dan Kessler from Michigan. Again, Dan was the one that suggested using GatherTown for our social event. And I also like to thank the staffs of our Emory School of Public Health IT team for helping us, really, the AV team, especially Brandon and Norman, who have helped to establish the Zoom sessions, and they have been kind of like sitting in the background, monitoring and recording the conference, which is really helpful for this kind of virtual event. And also I'd like to thank our department staff. Okay, go to the next one. Okay, finally, I'd like to give a big shout out to our fantastic CBIS students and postdoc organizing group. And these are the people that put a lot of effort in helping organizing this conference. And especially I'd like to thank Josh Lukemere, who became officially Dr. Lukemere last Friday. He has been chairing the student organizing group. So Josh has contributed tremendous amount of time and effort in the past 2 years to help me with the conference planning. He established our main website, and he helped with the program, putting together a program. And there must be hundreds of emails, communication between Josh and I during this process. So he really has been the right-hand man in this process. I'd like to thank Xin Ma. Xin is the engineer behind the GatherTown event yesterday. So she volunteered to do that. And after initial meeting with Dan, get some tips from Dan, she really took it on herself to learn all those GatherTown designing things by herself. And she did a fantastic job. And a big thank you to Xin. And also I'd like to thank Da Yu, who is a postdoc at our group, who kind of who designed this GitHub online program website, which I think is a great platform for us to distribute the materials of the conference and also upload all the materials later. So people can go up there and see all those recordings and posters. And also like all the other CBIS members who made a group effort to design, to plan this conference. And so basically we have made a group effort to test the GatherTown thing, for example, and they have volunteered to be the helping out during the event. And also in the next 2 days, there will be CBIS representatives assisting the session chairs during the sessions. So you may be seeing some of them in the session. Okay, so, well, thank you for attending SMI conference. And as Chipra mentioned, I'd like to thank you all the session chairs and organizers and speakers. It's you who kind of contributed to this exciting scientific program. I think when I sent out the announcement, call for proposals, thank you for all of you who stepped up and answered the call. And we hope you are enjoying the conference, and we hope you'll be coming back in future years SMI conference.
This program was brought to you by Emory University's Rollins School of Public Health.